on, friends? My name is M. and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. In the last episode, we got started with the game, and now in this part, we are going to, well, we are in front of our first dungeon, and so we are going to take on our first dungeon today. Alright, welcome to Tail Cave. So, in this game, they list the dungeons as levels, as opposed to, let's say, Ocarina of Time's temples, or A Link to the Past as palaces, or Breath of the Wild's shrines. This time we have levels, and so the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the left, and you want to knock those beetles down, and knock them down in the pits, because they're indestructible in this game. Then a key will appear, and so you want to pick up your first key. And so in typical Legend of Zelda mechanics, as far as dungeons are concerned, you have to do some problem solving, such as like whenever you get to certain rooms, you will sometimes be locked. And so in order for you to actually get out of those locked rooms is by either solving a certain puzzle or killing all the enemies in the room. And that's how you generally make progression in the dungeons in this game. And so either that and like, you know, you can progress to the next room, or you're rewarded with things like a key in order to progress to in order for you to access locked doors in the dungeons. As there are a number of locked doors that you will need to unlock. And so earlier, I just picked up a piece of power, and you probably just saw another power-up as well called a Guardian Acorn. Now's a good time we also saw those in the last episode, but I've not really talked about those yet, because they weren't really super relevant. But now's a good time to probably talk about those now. And so, first I'll talk about piece of power. In order for a piece of power to drop, you gotta kill 30 enemies, pretty much. That number increases the more heart containers you have in the game. So for now, since I have 3 hearts, I carry a total of 30 hearts. Or I have to kill a total of 30 enemies for piece of power to drop. The other item that you saw was Guardian Acorn. For Guardian Acorn is if you kill 12 enemies without getting hit. Now there are some quirks to that, and that is that if that piece of power and Guardian Acorn are both on the same kill count, then Guardian Acorn overrides, which can sometimes be a pain if you're trying to if you know that you're about to get a Guardian Acorn, and suddenly Guardian Acorn if you know if you're about to get a piece of power, then suddenly Guardian Acorn drops, and then you're like, well, shoot, I wasn't paying attention to my kill count before I got hit. That sucks. So that leads to a few complications there. So a piece of power gives you a 2 times damage boost, 2 times damage to enemies. Enemies get this really nice little knockback, which is cool to look at. Can sometimes be annoying. Also, piece of power, if you haven't noticed, piece of power gives you a 1.25 times speed boost, so you walk a bit faster with piece of power on. Guardian Acorn, on the other hand, gives you a 1/2 defense boost, which means you'll take 1/2 the damage whenever you get hit by an enemy. So those power-ups will drop in occasionally whenever you're playing the game. Those are I mostly take advantage of those in dungeons, not really in the overworld so much. So you won't be seeing me take advantage of those in the overworld. Alright, so that was our first mini-boss. Didn't really talk about that much because it was fairly straightforward. So that was Rolling Bones. All you have to do is just hit him a bunch of times, and he will throw this log around. You have to jump over it, and then you just kind of, if you're lucky, you can corner him, and you just kind of slash him a bunch of times. And he can get to the other side. If he gets to the other side, he'll just throw the roller at you again. You just gotta rinse and repeat until you beat him. So it's a pretty straightforward fight. On the other hand, we have a pretty hard fight, which is Moldorm. Moldorm is annoying because Moldorm will like move all around. His movement's erratic, and you have to dodge him. He's gonna be pushing you all over the place as well. You have to hit him in the tail only. Yeah, the very tip of the tail. So he gets pretty aggressive the more times you hit him. There we go. So yeah. In the original Link's Awakening, all the bosses were really easy. In this game, they're still kind of are, but every boss, including mini bosses, have like a special twist to them that make it so that their fights are either harder and or easier. Alright, so whenever you defeat a main boss of the dungeon, you get the heart container, and then as well as the reward of the dungeon, which is an instrument. In this case, we get the Full Moon Cello. Alright, and with that is going to be it for this episode of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I know that episode is really short, and so because that episode was really short, you are going to be seeing another episode later today. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and next time we're going to see what we're going to do with this Full Moon Cello that we got. So see you guys next time. Goodbye.